Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Hello and welcome to WrestleRamble. This is Luke Owen, I'm Ollie Davis, and today we're back to fantasy booking warfare. And today we're going to be booking, each of us having our own attempt at this storyline, Baron Corbin's cash-in of his Money in the Bank briefcase. How are we going to do it? If you want to hear just Luke's, click a timestamp in the video description below. If you just want to hear me, click a timestamp in the video description below. But please, stay here for all of it, and then you can vote at the end with a well-informed opinion. If you're going to do one or the other, though, you should probably just vote for me.
Oh, are you still bitter because I beat you in the last one? Quite fair. Quite roundly beat you as well. I'm pretty sure it was like 96-4 or something like that.
That is fake stats.
Yeah, you're right. It was 97-3.
It was 28-72, which is a landslide.
Is a landslide in any of those books. And it was a great bit of fantasy booking on my part as well.
So what Luke's alluding to is the fast that was the fantasy booking for the Shield reunion. And Luke won it, of course, but there was the added stipulation of if I didn't win, I would lose the Money in the Bank briefcase that I had, that Baron Corbin will be cashing in our fantasy booking scenarios, and you would get to find out the scandal that could ruin me.
But it didn't ruin you, really. It made you, if anything, it made you more popular. You had a sign at SmackDown.
Yeah, Push Wonder Ollie someone had.
Wonderful. Like it's brilliant as well, because I don't check my Twitter notifications before I watch Raw or SmackDown on the old tape delay in case there's any spoilers in there. But it was great because I watched the show, I didn't see the sign, and then I checked my Fitter tweet. I checked my Fitter tweet, and everyone's like sent me this message going like, "Hey, did you see Wonder Ollie was featured on SmackDown?" I was like, "This is ace. This is great."
Smart crowd, Toronto. They know. So we've had a Swaft sign, and which was posted on Botchamania because everyone joked, "How hard is it, guys?"
Yeah.
They even spell it out for you. And then a few
shows
people,
how popular we are.
Yeah.
Well, no one knew it was our thing.
At least 3 people said. I think that's actually an in-joke on a show called WrestleTalk Ramble. That WrestleRamble show. And well, I was a bit concerned about releasing the Wonder Ollie tape. I said to you, I was worried that this would be my Stone Cold turning heel moment. Looks good on paper, but maybe I'd suddenly lose favour and drive away a vast portion of wrestling fans or WrestleTalk viewers, as this case would be.
But if anything, it doesn't seem to have been the case. People are.
I hope not.
No, I think people have embraced the your alter ego. I mean, there was lots of fan art over the weekend.
Yeah.
There was even sort of images of me as Batman. Obviously,
you came out a lot better in this thing.
Although I did realise that when someone sent that picture on the old Fitter tweet, that I would make a particularly rubbish Batman because my beard would just give it away.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique bit of fluff.
There is only one man who would sport this on their face, and unfortunately that man is me. Despite the fact of the cry of the WrestleTalkers is for me to shave it off, I am going to sport this for a long while.
I put my scandal on the line. When are you going to put that on the line?
We're going to put this. I mean, if I do put this on the line, it's going to be after the wedding. It has to be after the wedding. Like that is. I mentioned this to my lady partner because it came up in a creative meeting that you and I had about if I would be willing to shave off the beard or put shaving off the beard on the line.
Or at least dye it Hulk Hogan bleach blonde.
Or even just taking this off and keeping the tash or something like that. And I joked about it with my lady partner. She was, she did not see the funny side of it. She only saw the super serious side of it, which is like, you are going to ruin all of our wedding photos.
Why would it ruin them?
Because
though?
she likes me with the beard.
Oh, okay. So she wants the beard.
Yes.
I was trying to think. Is there a continuity reason at stake here?
No, it's because she likes the beard.
We're not going to shave it off during the wedding. I thought.
And if I would go clean shaven, I just look weird clean shaven. It's not a good look for me. So it would forever we'd be looking at our wedding photos, being like, oh, our wedding photos look really doofy, all because I let some YouTubers talk me into shaving it off.
There's a popular saying that goes around. I believe it is for the bants. So if anyone says, you look a bit silly in your wedding photos, you can legitimately just say to them, shrug, and you said, I did it for the bants.
For the banter good.
And that actually rectifies a lot of stupid decisions I've found.
Perhaps it will. But
for the story.
Unfortunately, it's not going to happen anytime before the wedding. I did talk to her about, though, like, just getting rid of this and just going tash only for a while. Especially because it's quite long, I can curl it. Which I have done in the past.
Curl it upwards in a hipster way,
exactly.
in a Simon Gotch way.
Yes. I was looking, because Simon Gotch is going to be doing an RF video, shoot video.
I believe he's already done it.
Yeah, they released the trailer for it quite recently. And I suddenly looked at it, because he's got quite a distinct haircut. Whereas, like, it's similar to mine, where it's shaved on one side. But his shave goes, like, almost halfway up his head. And then it's just a big, whoosh, like, Jimmy Havoc style flop over. And I looked at it and I thought, I mean, I can't pull that off, but it's pretty good.
I often see hairstyles on men and I think, I'm going to go for that hairstyle. And it isn't until a couple of days later that I realise I physically can't have that hairstyle because of the way my hairline is.
Exactly.
Which is always a shame.
Neil from The In-Betweeners was on Sunday Brunch on Sunday on Channel 4 here in the UK.
You love Sunday Brunch.
I do love Sunday Brunch. It is awful television. It's
Luke
brilliant.
talks more about Sunday Brunch than he does wrestling at the studio.
I don't think that's quite true.
No, you're probably right.
No. You could have said almost anything else and you'd have been completely right, but apart from wrestling. But he was on there, and he's got quite long hair at the moment and a good beard on him. And I turned to my lady partner and my future mother-in-law, and I said, like, I mean, if I could, that's what I'd aim for. But I can't because I have Hulk Hogan hairline and the inability to grow facial hair on the side of my face.
Yeah, that's not there either.
No, that holds me back. Like this, you can't even see it on camera.
Very patchy, yeah.
Very patchy. But that
one day in 4K you might be able to pick it up.
That is a week and a half of no shaving.
How long is this beard?
How long?
How long in time?
Oh, I don't know because I haven't shaved it since 2000 and. How long were me and my lady partner going out for? 5. So 2012, I think, was the last time I was like clean shaven.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah, so it's roughly about that. Yeah.
So people, it can't happen until post Survivor Series, which is when around Luke's. Survivor Series would be the month after your wedding.
Yeah, that'd be like on the line for the Survivor Series month.
Hair versus mask match.
Well, yeah, but you can't take off a mask.
Yeah, well, we'll find something. I'm hairy everywhere else.
Oh,
maybe there'll be a waxing involved. Oh, I do need to, I want to try it out at least once.
What, waxing your arms?
Wax something.
Yeah?
Like I've got a bit of a back beard. You've got, what? So I've got a completely bald back, and apart from just at the bottom, where I've essentially got what you've got on your chin.
Yeah. Oh, like a little bit of tough down there. Yeah, I got that.
But it's ridiculously long. Yeah, sometimes I just stroke it when I think, and I forget where my body is. So this is weird, isn't it? Should we move on to the fantasy booking warfare?
There was a comment on yesterday's video.
No, we're not, because Luke's going to bring up some comments.
It's a comment on yesterday's video that made me laugh. Which is like, you're going to lose all these viewers talking about crisps. And I was like, mate, if you thought the crisps conversation was bad, wait till we start talking about back hair.
You do not know the depths our rambling can reach.
Oh, dearie me.
Some people like the rambling the most, though.
I like those people more than anyone else. So, as we alluded to earlier, I won the Fantasy Booking Warfare last time. So, winner goes first. I'm up this time. Now, we obviously have a bit of banter back and forth when we do these sorts of things. You have been struggling all day to write this, whereas I stumbled upon an idea, and I ran with that idea.
You let me know this morning via text
Yes.
and said, I've aced it. I'm Luke Oli.
Yeah, well, I just said I effing nailed it.
Yeah.
I think I've got this. I'm pretty confident about this one. Because what I wanted to do, because I think doing a cash-in storyline is very difficult, which, I mean, you've since discovered.
I think my problem is Baron Corbin as a character I've got no interest in.
That is, and I will say, my fantasy booking just sort of ignores the fact that Corbin's a bit rubbish. And I'm putting him into a feud that's going to result in rubbish matches. So, that side of it...
I've effing nailed it! Yeah! I'm going to put him in crap matches.
But you're going to struggle to do anything else with him. You can only put him in crap matches.
That's a good point.
So, from that side of things, I'm not going to create any 5-star masterpieces, but I should create a fairly good storyline. Also, it's a storyline that's not been done yet with the Money in the Bank, and that was my aim. So here we are. The scene is currently where we are in the WWE Universe landscape. We're heading into SummerSlam. Jinder Mahal has just been pinned by Randy Orton 2 weeks before SummerSlam, but he's still going into SummerSlam as champion. Apparently that's classic wrestling logic. And in my scenario, Nakamura wins at SummerSlam. He is now your new your new WWE champion. Yay, Nak wins. He then defends it at the pay-per-view that comes after SummerSlam. I'm going to guess it's Backlash. And then we're building up towards Survivor Series. Now, they are going to do the Raw and SmackDown 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. But they want to create a tournament as well because we need to crown a new number one contender for the WWE Championship. So all your big guys from SmackDown are in there. Each week on SmackDown, we're getting a new couple of brackets that are going on there. We're going to really build up this tournament and really build up to a special episode of SmackDown where we're going to crown our new number one contender. And lo and behold, who wins this tournament but Baron bloody Corbin? He is the number one contender and the Money in the Bank holder. Okay? Come Survivor Series, Corbin and Nakamura are having a match. It's probably not going to be a great match, but they are having a match. Nakamura looks like he's got this one, but the referee gets knocked down. Corbin, seizing his opportunity, grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase, can't say briefcase, grabs the Money in the Bank, clocks Nakamura in the head with it, slides it out. Referee comes to 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin becomes the first person to be the WWE Champion and the Money in the Bank holder. He celebrates it. He's very happy with it. Okay, so now, every match that Corbin is in, he's using this Money in the Bank briefcase as a nefarious means. They're really going to start putting over the briefcase as like this new ultimate weapon. Perhaps he's modded it. He's made it more deadlier than ever. I see this as being pushed like Hunter's sledgehammer. If you use the briefcase, no one's kicking out of this. No one's kicking out the briefcase. And so Corbs is like, he's on a tear. He's WWE champion. And this is where you can really play up the cockiness of Baron Corbin. Of being like, you spent years in Japan honing your craft. I just walked into this and I'm now the WWE champion. And I've got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, if I lose, I can just cash in and just win it right back. Okay. So, Corbs retains the belt at the December pay-per-view. I'm going to guess that's also Backlash. In a rematch, again using the briefcase. Use that briefcase once, you're not kicking out of it. Daniel Bryan announces that at the Royal Rumble, Baron Corbin will defend his WWE Championship against Nakamura. It's the grudge match. This is it. Corbin agrees and he says, I'll do this, but only if it's the last time Nakamura can challenge for the championship while I'm champion. I want new challenges. I don't want to face him again after I beat him at Royal Rumble. And Baron and where am I? Bryan agrees. Bryan agrees. Says, yeah, okay, that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to add another stipulation. You can't take the briefcase with you to ringside. It's banned. It's going to be a straight one-on-one match. This is going to be see who really is the best. Okay, Corbs is incensed, as you would imagine. We're now at the Royal Rumble. They have what I would say is probably going to be a 2-star match, maybe 2.25 if they're lucky, really pulling this out. And then Nakamura wins, hits the Kinshasa, 1, 2, 3. He's the WWE champion. And then Corbs is like, oh no, and what am I going to do? Rolls out the ring, grabs the briefcase from underneath the ring. He'd hidden it there, and then runs back in, smacks Nakamura with it. And then realizes that there's no ref because the ref left the ring because the match is over. So Corbs leaves, runs out, grabs the ref, drags him back, throws him in the ring saying, I'm cashing in now. Goes to pin him, 1, 2, Nakamura kicks out. And Corbs is like, oh no! Crowd are rabid by this point because they don't want to see Corbin do what he said he was going to do and just, and just screw Nakamura out of this championship reign. And so he picks him up, end of days, 1, 2, Nakamura kicks out again. So Corbs is just like, he's just proper narked, as you might say. Rolls out the ring, grabs the microphone, and he says, not only do I get to cash this in, I get to pick the stipulation. That's what's written in the contract. This is now a no DQ match. Throws it down, grabs the briefcase, knocks him in the head. 1, 2, 3. JBL, by the way, is loving this. This is genius, Tom Phillips. This is absolutely genius. This man's a genius. Hits him with the briefcase and pins him, becoming the WWE champion for a second time. But now he doesn't have the briefcase. And that's how. That's my fantasy booking. It's what I was looking to do with mine was something that hasn't been done with the briefcase holder. You're feeling confident, I see.
I'm just eager. Yeah. It's weird. We've got quite a lot of similarities. I think in trying to avoid the beaten path, we've found the only other path that's available.
I did mention to you that I had like another level that I was going to add on to it.
A Neville one.
And another Neville level that I was going to add to my storyline, but I thought, I'm making this too convoluted. Well, I thought to keep it simple. Don't give Baron Corbin too much. He won't mess this up if you keep it simple. But the other level I had on it was that they were going to announce another Money in the Bank ladder match for WrestleMania, and he was going to enter himself into that and then become like a double bank briefcase holder. That was the other thing I was going to add in, but I decided against that in the end.
Okay, so here comes my attempt at this as well.
What's your thought process going into it?
Well, let me just show you how long the script is first.
Yep.
Boom, there it is. Oh,
that's a long one.
Yeah, it's a big one. So my thought process was, it's weird how because we knew about this one last week. Last Friday, we both decided we're going to do this one next because SummerSlam's coming up. It looks like Baron, a lot of people reckon Baron's going to cash in as soon as Nakamura wins. That's, where everyone feels like it's going to go. And so we thought we'd do that now. Despite all that week, despite me going to watch an incredibly, I think a lot of other people enjoyed it, but I found it very boring, production of The Tempest, bit of Shakespeare.
Unabridged.
I was into it at the start because there was all this crazy projection stuff, and then it became apparent within about 20 minutes that I wasn't enjoying it.
Did you follow the story?
Well, yeah, I knew the story already,
okay.
But sometimes with Shakespeare, you eventually click into, I can suddenly speak this language too. Doth, yes. And this one didn't work for whatever reason. Usually I like Shakespeare when it's updated to the current day, but this was very much stuck in the 16th century or whatever it was, with boats and frivolity and
frilly neck things
and 15-minute long dance numbers. What was that? When they came out and started doing this bit, which isn't in the text, me and my lady partner looked at each other, apparently at different times, but I just looked at her like this. And apparently she did the same to me. But anyway, so
Did she enjoy it?
No, she didn't either. We phased out. I phased out for about an hour and a half. I thought, I'm here, so I might as well start working in my mind on that Baron Corbin fantasy booking. And I just couldn't find anything. And it's essentially because I don't like Baron Corbin.
He's a boring man. From what I gather, from what I've heard, he's actually quite a nice guy to be around. Apparently, he's very good in interviews. He's very well spoken. I've heard stories about people who've had lunch with him and stuff. He's during interview phases, and apparently he's just an absolute delight to talk to. Very down to earth. So I say this. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
but I'm not a fan of him in the ring, and I don't think that they're using his character to its full potential. As such, I find him a bit boring.
Yeah, when we're being critical of wrestlers, very rarely are we doing that because of their personality or who they are. We're talking about the presentation, the way they've been booked.
Absolutely,
Baron Corbin, I actually sometimes enjoy his matches, not often though, but I really like the spot when he's whipped into the turnbuckle, slides out the ring, comes back round. I always pop for that.
Also, the End of Days is a fantastic finishing move.
And his previous entrance before they changed it, I really liked.
Yeah.
With the Titantron and the cityscape slowly being enshrouded by blackness.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to see him as champion. Yeah. I've sort of given the game away there. But so I was like, well, how can I get him to where I want him to be, which is solid mid-card heel. I don't think he's got any business being in the top in the main event.
Even though Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men.
Yeah, well that's the unfortunate reason behind most of these pushes. And how can I use this storyline to make everything else feel more fun? Maybe even get someone else where I think Corbin should be based on fan support. So, this is what I came up with.
Head up. I'm going to be looking at
Okay.
you because I don't want to look at your laptop.
So here is... Yeah, so maybe Baron Corbin will get good in the future, but right now, he should not be carrying around the WWE title. So here's some preamble. Nakamura wins at SummerSlam. He wins the title. Corbin doesn't cash in because everyone's predicting it. AJ Styles is sent to Raw in the Superstar Shake-Up following SummerSlam. That's all you need to know. Then in sort of Corbin's gimmick post SummerSlam is that he keeps on saying now he's all about the money because he's a businessman. He wants the biggest money payday, sort of building on what you said about how he just walked into this contract because he's tall. He doesn't have to toil away on the indies to prove himself. He can just walk in because he used to play football and he's got quite a lot of height on him. So he's all about getting that big money payday. What's the biggest money payday around? WrestleMania. The main event of WrestleMania. I'm announcing it now. I'm going to cash in my briefcase at WrestleMania to get the main event match against whoever I want. And you know who it's going to be? It's probably going to be a part-timer. It's going to be a Triple H. It's going to be a Brock Lesnar. It's going to be a Goldberg, an Undertaker, whatever. It's not going to be. I'm going to take this spot away from your Dean Ambrose, your Seth Rollins, your Nakamura, your Styles, because I want the big money match.
Nice, like it.
He play on that side of his character, really targeting the smart fans like us. I mean, that would annoy me in a good heel heat way. So he says he's not going to cash it in anytime. So it's sort of forgotten about, and he always brings it down to the ring, and he just beats local indie wrestlers every other week on SmackDown, occasionally a former ROH guy, and just does the whole, I'm better than you rubbish indie wrestlers. So that's the preamble. That's where everyone's at. Nakamura's been a great champion, hopefully. But he's unpredictable, he's a bit wacky.
Well, he's the artist.
So, I've got a 4-week Royal Rumble build here. So, week 1, just a match, so 4 weeks out from Rumble, Nakamura goes up to Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan around midpoint in SmackDown of the show. And because he's wacky, he's an unpredictable champion, he says, with belt on his shoulder or around his neck or wherever he's wearing it, he says, this is my first year in WWE. I want to be in a Rumble. And Bryan and Shane are like, what? You're the champion. The point of the Rumble is to get a shot at the title. You'll be competing to get a shot at yourself. And Nakamura, do not give him long lines, by the way. All he has to say, you figure it out. Walks off. He's the champion. And Shane and Daniel Bryan are like, oh, God, what are we going to do? Commentators play up. Wow, Nakamura is unpredictable. Hopefully not over-egging it on the unpredictable artist, Nakamura. Don't know what he's going to do next. And then Shane says, we've got an announcement for next week. We think we've found the way to do it. The way, of course, some people might say, well, you've gotten rid of a WWE title match at Royal Rumble. Brilliant! That means it's one less match for the card. That means we only have one, the Universal title match can be defended. So that gets around that. Week 2, Shane and Daniel Bryan come out and they talk to Nakamura in the ring. Again, Nakamura doesn't say much. He just stands there looking cool and says that, okay, we've found out a way. We've come to an agreement. You can enter the Rumble. And if you win, you will get to choose your WrestleMania opponent. That can be what's at stake for Nakamura. If he doesn't win, so be it. Someone else, the winner might challenge him. And Nakamura just leans forward and says into the mic, AJ Styles.
Nice.
Drops the mic and walks out. Everyone's shocked, of course, because Styles is on Raw. And you're like, but this is a SmackDown championship. Week 3 on Raw, AJ's asked about Nakamura's challenge on Monday Night Raw, and AJ replies that that's very flattering, but I'm going to win the Rumble anyway, so that doesn't matter, and he's got a feud with Braun Strowman going. That's not really important. It just makes for a nice spot later on. But Styles is feuding with Braun Strowman in recent weeks. Now on the Go Home Raw, this is just fun angle stuff, Go Home angles. At the end of the show of Raw, everyone's competing in the ring, just like a mass of humanity, and all of a sudden there's like in the middle you can't really see what's going on because there's so many people in there. People are getting thrown out left, right and centre, and then it slowly becomes apparent. Nakamura's in the middle of the ring, just kicking people out over the top rope. And once the ring starts to clear, it's just Nakamura and AJ looking at each other. Nakamura holds up the belt, right? So you're thinking, and that's how that episode ends. On SmackDown, just because I like knowing a few of the numbers, SmackDown draws five for SmackDown and 5 for Raw of the numbers of a few people who are going to enter, because the rest you want for surprises and surprise returns. So Nakamura is one of them, and he's at number 4. That is a long time to be in there.
Early.
Poor old Sami Zayn gets number 2, and somewhere, I don't know why I put this in, Braun Strowman attacks Shinsuke at the top of the ramp at the end of the show because he's like, AJ is mine, I want competition. I'm also in the Rumble, I'm a Raw guy. We're just trying to do some cross-promotion for the cross-promoting pay-per-view. That's that.
Lovely stuff.
So, now the actual Royal Rumble match. Nakamura comes out at number 4. There's a nice showdown between Zayn and Nakamura, harking back to Nakamura's NXT Dallas debut, that fantastic match. And it's just like they're still in there for all the time. They're doing the Iron Man performances. AJ Styles comes out to number 25. And it's a crowded ring. And Nakamura and AJ first face off. And you get the rumble from the crowd, and then they clear out everyone else from the ring, or most of the other people from the ring. They're beating up. Ziggler's over the top rope. The Miz is thrown out. Sami Zayn's chucked through the middle rope, and then AJ and Nakamura both square off with Braun Strowman, who's just standing there. This is the guy who's kind of been in the middle of this feud, and where am I? They go strike crazy on Braun. You know how AJ does those furious fists and Nakamura's doing his own kicks and knees. And a Kinshasa sort of sends Braun Strowman up, and he gets clocked by a phenomenal forearm from AJ. It's a double whammy. They get rid of Braun Strowman and they push him over. Strowman is incensed, sees Sami Zayn who's on the floor. He picks up Sami Zayn, does his running slam through the announcer's table. Strowman's annoyed. Medical staff run down and start tending to him. So we are left with Nakamura and AJ in the ring. There's a few other bodies lying around, but it's just them two. And they have a stare down similar to their Money in the Bank encounter when it was just those two left in the ring. This is the first time since that match, actually. And they go at it for a bit. Eventually, they're broken up by other people entering because AJ was 25, number 26 comes down, number 27 comes down. But AJ and Nakamura managed to eliminate them and number 28. So it's just AJ and Nakamura in the ring. Number 29 is a comedy return or a James Ellsworth or something. Gilbert. And they just throw him straight out. And then it's AJ and Nakamura continue striking. Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Nakamura hits him with a knee strike, runs off the rope straight into a Kinshasa, and then throws AJ out. Nakamura, number 29, he's still in there. And then who walks down to the ring at number 30? But Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, such a heel because he told everyone, I'm waiting until WrestleMania. But Baron Corbin walks down. As soon as he does, he's got the briefcase. Everyone clocks it. And they're like, oh no, he's going to cash it in. AJ walks past Baron Corbin because he's just been eliminated. AJ just gives him a dirty look. Baron just shoves him. AJ goes for him. Loads of people hold him back because I like it when people, ships passing in the night kind of interaction. And Corbin gets in the ring, hands the briefcase to the referee. The commentators are going crazy because nobody knows what this means. Baron Corbin is number 30 in the Royal Rumble and he's just cashed in against Nakamura. A cash in during the Rumble, the ring announcer then says, this match is now for the WWE Championship with the winner getting to choose their opponent at WrestleMania. So everything's now on the line. The shot and the title. And the heel commentators, JBL, let's say, is playing this up as a brilliant piece of thinking from Baron. Because not only does he get the big main event Mania payday, he gets to be a fighting champion and pick the biggest money opponent. Because Baron Corbin's all about the big money paydays. But the face is going, no, he's going to pick an easy opponent so he can get an even bigger payday by winning at WrestleMania and having the main event of the title there. So, what a dastard heel Corbin is. Then Nakamura Nakamura is out on his feet. He's just standing there and he's wearily shouting, "Come on then," in his weird way. And the bell rings. And then, on the opposite side to the hard cam, with Corbin there, and Nakamura there, Sami Zayn climbs up onto the apron. Sami Zayn was never eliminated. He was thrown through the middle rope. But everyone kind of forgot about that. This is now Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title, for the shot to choose at WrestleMania. Corbin's outraged and saying this isn't right, but the referees are like, I think it is, I guess. We said that this match is now for the WWE title. You three are still involved, still over the top rules, based on the precedent set at WrestleMania when Seth Rollins cashed in. And they have a three-way match. Zayn and Nakamura immediately go for Corbin, but Baron gets some brass knuckles out. I think he's sort of a brass knuckle kind of guy. Zayn eventually dodges an attack and throws Corbin out. Nakamura and Zayn now, they have a 5-minute bout together. Nakamura eventually finds himself in the corner. Zayn's been in since number 2. Nakamura's been in since 4. Zayn hits 3 consecutive haluva kicks. Hits one, and then he's like, this isn't enough. Runs back, does another one, runs back, does another one. As Nakamura comes off the turnbuckle from the third one, Zayn throws him out. New WWE champion Sami Zayn.
Wow. So, yeah, that really does bury Corbin there, doesn't it?
It doesn't bury Corbin because he had a master plan.
Yeah, and it just didn't come through.
Yeah, there was, everyone forgets about Zayn, hopefully, in the way it's meant to go down. And, he had a perfect idea, and he looked strong against both guys. But, yeah, he was outsmarted. And it was 2-on-1. But, really, I don't want Corbin in the main event picture. So now he can just go down to being a solid mid-card heel.
Back to the pre-show with you.
Yeah. And now Sami Zayn is this surprise underdog champion in an amazing way. Do with him what you will after then. Hopefully get some Daniel Bryan underdog magic. But yeah, that's my books. So there's a poll above our heads right now with the thing where you vote. It's a thing where you vote for who decided.
Polls usually work.
Yeah.
I did forget 1 point from my my story.
You can't put that in now.
I know. I just think it's picked up enough because it's there.
By the way, just one more thing. The Shield reunite and my one too. CM Punk returns.
No, I was going to say because I don't think I made enough of it. But the whole idea was that Shinsuke can't challenge for the belt as long as Baron Corbin is champion.
Right.
And so that then plays through. So I've got further storylines.
I hope you haven't voted already because that would have changed.
I would have totally. I would have gone. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, see what it was. I really liked that. It was very nice.
Thank you. I liked Yawn as well. It's a shame we were both hamstrung by having Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we had anyone we kind of like or can at least see more value in, we could have had a lot more fun with those.
Yeah, and I think with my booking in particular, it's kind of like it'll create some dark days for SmackDown because Baron Corbin will be running roughshod, beating everyone. And
I don't want another Jinder.
No, well, I was thinking more it's going to be like Triple H's Reign of Terror, which is more like sort of I had in mind because he's using the briefcase as his sledgehammer and things like that. So it would make you not like him, I suppose, which works as a heel, but it's not really good heel heat.
It's turn off TV heel heat. It's because Triple H, at the end of the day, is a fantastic wrestler. And he's a hell of a promo. Mm-hmm. So,
and he had his entourage with him as well, which helped.
Sure, he crushed everything for a while, and that was a bit suffocating. But at least he was, at least he wasn't terrible. Baron Corbin put into that slot with his scripted promos and his adequate wrestling ability. I don't know, thank you. Not for me.
Yeah, no thanks.
Well, that's all we've got time for today.
Damn.
Slapping the knee. Please do click the videos that have appeared over Luke's face to catch up with the latest WrestleRamble or WrestleTalk news. Support WrestleTalk on Patreon. Press subscribe. That was Luke Owen. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was Rambling.